Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get into game one here of the night. So, as I touched on before, we got some interesting team comps coming out here, which hopefully will produce a very nice game for us. One of the things I forgot to mention in Champ Select is that Malphite is a very strong pick against both Warwick and Annie. Warwick will still have that Hungering Strike, of course, but having that attack speed slow on your side can really reduce the amount he heals in a fight by an enormous amount. And same goes for Vayne. She does a lot of damage based on True Silver or on her Silver Bolts procs. So if she can't quite get those down as quickly as she likes, especially since so many Vaynes build a lot of attack speed, Malphite is going to be very, very nice here. He needs to make sure that he gets to level 6 as fast as possible so that he can get those strong ganks in, start affecting this map in a heavy, heavy way. Alright, so normal starts look for the junglers. It looks like both DCB and Suki Shard's going to start over on the bottom corner of their map, really looking for just that double leash from their bottom lane. That's the safest way to get your jungle started. It allows you to just take the least amount of damage in that jungle. Save for, having your top laner follow you around a little bit like the pros do, but we're not pros here. We just do the best we can and make do with what we've got. Alright. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and start on those Krugs, whereas Sugi Shard's on Malphite's going to start on that ground. Probably could have waited on that ground slam just a little bit longer, since it was still stunned by the Braum passive. Maybe it would have saved him one auto attack from that thing, but he's not going to be too worried about the clear overall. Aatrox taken very low. I kind of want to see what he's doing over here. He's going to go ahead and actually take away this chicken camp to start his game out. That's the thing about Aatrox, is his early game is very, very weak and can be exploited by some of these early pressure champions. Vladimir is going to keep this wave pushing in Aatrox's direction, so he's going to be able to teleport into this lane, start with 4 pots and a Doran's Blade, which is very nice for him, and catch most of these minions before they hit the turret. The correct move, if Vladimir had known that he was starting that chicken camp, would have been to either super shove the wave very hard and force Aatrox to miss that first minion wave, or to try to freeze it in his direction and have the enemy minions kill more of his minions and have that lane control over on his side of the map here. Broken Crayon going in for the stun on to 0K's, yes, he'll throw that on the Ignite, looking for the kill, but can't quite find it. Takes a turret shot for his troubles there, and he's going to be forced back. 0K's, yes, also forced back into the base as well. LowElo just taking his time here, really farming this wave out. It looks like blue team's got a decent amount of pressure on Kuju and Fuzzy, so they've got to be very careful. The Hurricane and LowElo can definitely do some serious damage here if they get a good stun down. And red team, at the amount of health that Ashe is at, they really don't want to, fight for any of these engages. Deep jump in onto Seer 0, So Flame, No Fame, really looking to put the pressure down there. Gets a good chunk of damage dealt, and stun goes down on Kuju in the bottom lane, forced to flash away. That heal was a little bit wasted, as there was no way they were going to kill him after he had already flashed. Might have even been able to just walk away there and not even burn any of those summoners at all, but he wants to make sure that he stays in the lane, so I can understand the need to burn that summoner. XP and gold that is in the lane is a little bit too valuable to let go to waste. Right now, Bromba's standing way too far back. Fuzzy needs to really put this pressure on. Top side of the map, Dark Crimson Blade looking for the gank on So Flame, No Fame. He does get the slowdown and does a little bit of damage, but not really that much is accomplished there with that gank. He does put the pressure down, which, you know, causes Aatrox to back off of Sierra Zero a little bit more, but So Flame No Fame's in a position right now where he feels fairly confident and doesn't really want to give up his pressure too much. I wouldn't be surprised if he dropped that pink ward into this River Brush right here and then waited for the secondary gank from Warwick. We're really sitting up on this top lane. Ping goes down that he wants to go in for a gank, but there's not too much CC that they can really mess with this Aatrox with. Now we're just standing in the lane there, not really doing much of anything, just kind of soaking some of Vladimir's XP, I guess? Alright, DCB still has not gone back to base. I believe you get an increase in the amount of gold that you get from your jungle monsters when you actually base and get that secondary item, so I think he's actually losing gold value by not hitting the base right now. It will increase the time that he... it will decrease the amount of time that it takes for him to get to level 6 though, and I think that's his end goal here, is to just get to level 6 as quickly as possible. Alright. Arcane doing a great job of maintaining that brush control on the bottom side of the map. Interesting leveling choice coming out of Aatrox here. Choosing to take these Tormented Blades of Torment first for the poke value, rather than the typical item or build choice of getting that W, that Blood Price and Blood Thirst. Knows that he may not be able to close that gap onto Vladimir very often, and he's going to opt to just stay at a distance and poke and farm, get his items up, and then once he's strong, he can really worry about his opponent. Great. Fuji doing a decent job in the bottom lane of maintaining his composure in the lane. Did get chunked down fairly early as we saw before, and he's managed to stay down here the entire time and heal back up to full. Once again, DCB looking for the gank on the top side of the map. Suki Shard's still not level 6, and neither is Dark Crimson Blade. He's just in the enemy jungle, looking for a bit of counter jungling here, it looks like. Ping's going down from the blue team that they're not sure where Aatrox is, but he's still there in lane. DCB hits level 6 and now is looking for the gank on Aatrox. Ping's going down that he's coming into the lane. Infinite Duress goes down. Gets the slowdown there. They drop the Vladimir ulti on him and they'll get the passive. Not sure if the flash was needed to make that happen, but successful gank overall. Suki Shard's caught out by DCB, picking up the Scuttle Crab. He's going to smite it to secure it and then grant that vision. Still needs to hit level 6 though, so that he can get into these ganks nice and strong like I mentioned before. Bottom lane is really hurting for a gank here as level 6 has been gotten by the Hurricane and Lord Aeotis, so anytime this wave bounces back out into the middle of the lane, Red Team's going to be in a sticky situation considering they don't have that much mana left, and I'm not sure if they can use their ultis. Kuju actually going to just go ahead and reset back in base, which is going to give Blue Team plenty of time to just free farm this wave out. Blade still hanging around this top side of the map. They really need to read this map pressure, get a good gank bottom lane, and instantly take the dragon. If DCB is going to be, hanging around this top side, they just need to get that vision down so they know where he is. and then take advantage of his aggressive topside positioning. A little bit of poke damage gets neutralized by 0KZS. Good Black Shield timing from him to stop that orb spawn. Ooh, Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Good shot onto Lord Aeolus. Ultimate comes out of Suki Shard's. Attack speed is now slow. Tibbers has been dropped on the back of Red Team, but the Hurricane gets stuck in there. Slow is too strong. First Blood comes out for Red Team. Can they pick up the kill on this Annie as well? Double kill gets procced here by Red Team. Now Dark Crimson Blade is in their area. Drops down the ultimate. Can he finish off Kuju? He needs one more auto attack. He's burning down for med buff. He finds it though. They need to make sure that he stay on this Dark Crimson Blade or he's going to kill Fuzzy as well. Please, Suki, keep hitting him. And they just don't have the mana to take him out there, it looks like. Ignite goes down onto Broken Crayon. He gets zeroed out by the Chains of Corruption before he can finish off that kill. Good jump in from So Flame No Fame. Really punishing Seer Zero for the amount of time that he's spending freezing this wave in. Doesn't want him to get an advantageous position with these minions where he can sit under turret and farm it out and not have to worry about any sort of gank pressure. Just keep bouncing that wave back to the middle. Once you've got this Tiamat down, you need to make sure that you can force that wave in nice and hard. And honestly, So Flame No Fame's in a position where he can probably start roaming to the mid lane or looking to counter jungle a bit. If he's feeling, you know, a little bit ballsy, it's kind of hard to run in on a Warwick jungle because he's got so much sustain. But if he does get some aid from his mid lane or his jungler, he can really make some effective ganks happen in that enemy jungle. Alright, Annie looking to clear out a pink ward in the Tri-Brush. Gets hit by one of the shots from Rom Q. Lord Aeolus does a fantastic job of dodging out that Enchanted Crystal Arrow. 0KZS caught out by the Infinite Duress from Dark Crimson Blade. Spellamion's going to protect him from a little bit of magic damage from the Warwick passive and allow him to actually walk away from that without burning his flash. So well played on 0KZS's part. Keeping his composure there and making sure that he does not go down. And preserves his summoner spells there as well. Dark Crimson Blade looking to take that early dragon. We see it many a time here on the LowElo stream. And he's got that pink ward up and ready to roll. Fuzzy taken quite low there. Ultimate dropped on Lord Aeolus. I don't know how much damage he can really prevent here. Honestly, he might go down. He actually blocks the last shot with a well-timed wall. Going to be able to get away with his life. He could not afford to stay close to this lane though. So Flame No Fame roams mid. He needs to swap to Blood Price. He pokes him with the Blood Thirst. Stays alive anyway though. Well played on his part. Alright. Suki Shard's now roaming towards the bottom side of the map again. He does have that ulti up. One more time. Enchanted Crystal Arrow is going to be up in a second here. Mid lane 0KZS in a fight against Dark Crimson Blade. Dark Crimson Blade taken very low, forced to flash out. He just flashes forward after him. Needs to get out of that auto attack range. He's actually going to get this kill, and he finally does. Tormented Soil doing a decent amount of damage there, and actually 0KZS going for that Athene's Unholy Grail build. Slow applied to Lord Aeolus. Good double knockup from Suki Shards. Gets the stun that they're looking for. Tibbers gets dropped onto Fuzzy 951, but Annie just doesn't have the damage burst that they're really looking for at the moment. Just a little bit farther behind than an Annie support would like to be at this point in the game. Alright, so Malphite really making these ganks on the bot lane just happen for them. Needs to spread that love a little bit across the map there. Get that Aatrox really snowballing, get him to a point where he can just knock this turret over and there's not much that Seer Zero can really do about it. Bottom lane, it looks like Syndra's coming in for a gank. Fuzzy951's going to walk right into him. Please don't walk into him. Stunned up, slowed down. Darkram's Blade walks up with the auto attacks. And he throws down the exhaust here. Yeah, there's not much you can really do about this. You're going to get killed regardless. It's just a matter of them either saving their cooldowns on their ultis or not. Feels like an Abyssal would be more efficient for Morg. I'm not quite sure because you still want that cooldown reduction. Having multiple, black shields available and things like that, because I believe Morg has some pretty long cooldowns, which means that she's got a little bit higher value in building that CDR. She can definitely get, an Abyssal Scepter first if she wants to, but she's going to run into a few mana issues if they get denied a blue buff. Binding comes out from 0KZS and it goes wide here. Looks like Annie's going to pick up this pink ward after redropping a second ward there. Kuju in a 1v1 against Vayne can't quite find any sort of damage there. Hurricane ready to react. If that binding had landed, try to take out this this Morgana here. 0KZS doing a fantastic job in the mid lane, just continually shoving up, keeping Syndra in one place as far as much as possible there. Really don't want to get that Syndra roaming because that damage output is significant. Mana really shouldn't be an issue in lane though. If mana isn't an issue in lane, then it should never be an issue throughout the entire game, and then Morgana shouldn't have to use any mana regen. The reason I say that is because lane for Morgana, you're constantly spamming down that Tormented Soil to clear out the wave and push it up. You're not nearly spending it as often when you're just walking around in the mid to late game. Alright, a couple of pot shots from Lord Aeotis onto Kuju there. Good binding there onto Broken Crayon. Tosses down the Ignite, and just one more Soul Shackles and binding there gets the kill. Lord Aeotis jumped on by Suki Shards. The Hurricane tries to throw down the Tibbers, but I think just Lord Aeotis got caught with his pants down. Top side of the map, So Flame, No Fame doing a fantastic job in this 1v2. I think Warwick got caught under the turret a little bit there. So if you want the Abyssal Scepter, then, maybe you're right. Maybe it is the better build, but I honestly believe that the cooldown reduction from Athene's, and the fact that it still gives you a bunch of stats that you're looking for in this game, it feels like it's the better buy overall. Cooldown reduction can be fairly important. Making sure your ulti is up more often is very good on Morgana. Very good on most champions, actually. So Fuzzy951 has shifted over to that top side of the map. Kuju now left alone on the bottom lane. He really needs to make sure that he doesn't get engaged on by Lord Aeotis, because without his Enchanted Crystal Arrow, there's not much he can do about it. Top lane, there's a bit of a dive going on. He gets the kill down on Vladimir, pops his passive for it, but overall it's going to be fairly worth it. He gets to walk away from it. Yeah, I'd say it's a preference choice. I'd say they're both equally valid options. Abyssal Scepter or Athene's. Ooh, good stun up there from on the 0KZS, and he just gets completely blasted there. Stayed in lane a little bit too long. So Flame No Fame, looking like he's going to pick up yet another red buff for himself. Suki Shard's being very generous with what buffs he gives up. He's put himself very far behind compared to where I'd say he'd like to be at the moment. He and Warwick are just behind in levels, but bottom side of the map, the dive's going down here. Enchanted Crystal Arrow keeps Dark Crimson Blade under the tower for a little bit longer. Good jump in from So Flame No Fame, and they're going to zero out this kill one more time. Kuju the one, the last hit there. And it looks like they're going to flash forward looking for Annie, but I'm not quite sure if they're going to be able to catch her. This Blades of Torment might be able to land. Not enough of magic resist on this Aatrox as well. He does not want to tango with this Syndra. Yeah, this is the part of the game where Aatrox really needs to start bulking up, get that Hex Drinker rolling, maybe even a Spectre's Cowl, because as it stands right now, Broken Crayon will destroy him. 0KZS walking back out of the turret range to make sure that he doesn't die to the tower. Suki Shard's caught out a little bit by Dark Crimson Blade. I take it back, Dark Crimson Blade caught out by 0KZS. Fantastic binding there. Lord Aotis walking up and doing a little bit of damage. Good tumble backwards, just keeps him out of range of that ground slam. It allows him to maintain that ever-important auto attack speed. Hit by a binding though, and it destroys his health bar. Absolutely annihilates him there. Needs to be careful not to get hit by another one or he will fall over. Alright, so this is the point in the game where Red Team might feel a little bit lost as to what they need to be doing next, but they've got a decent lead at the moment. I'd say they want to play around this Aatrox split push, allow him to pull some pressure up into the top lane, and then get some pressure down, probably closer to bottom. Vayne's going to be wanting to farm that out solo while Annie roams around and looks for picks, and that's probably a good opportunity to set up a dive with that Enchanted Crystal Arrow from your Ashe. Alright, so Red Team just going to throw out the Scuttle Crab. I think they got control of both of these here, yeah. They picked up both of these River Vision Totems. Warwick still has not finished that Sated Devour. Let's see where he's at with that. He's sitting on 23 stacks out of 30. Yeah. Good stun from Syndra. Over in the jungle there, they're still trying to clear out this ward though. I'm not sure if Fuzzy really wants to hang out there. The rest of Red Team has backed off. Dark Crimson Blade looking for the jump on Kuju, but if he's not careful, he's just going to die. Goes completely down there. Throw down the arrow. He does, and it looks like So Flame No Fame's doing decent damage here. Nurkian has walked up looking for the stun. Doesn't have proc though. Gets the damage down onto So Flame No Fame. Braum shows up for the blockage. I don't know if they can actually finish off any more of these kills here. Syndra actually went down to Morgana and Malphite off to the side there. Good roam from Red Team, and this is going to be that turret pressure. They're going to be able to take this out fairly easily if they can get this wave in position. Aatrox does a fantastic amount of tower damage. Fuzzy looking for a stun over the wall. Seer 0, full health here. I don't know if he can clear out this wave in time. Morgana has showed back up. Gonna get some a little bit of damage down on maybe this Aatrox here. Ultimate goes down from Vladimir onto Fuzzy. He will fall over to the second pop. Looks like So Flame No Fame's gonna lose his passive here. Seer 0 goes down. Kuju taken out as well. Lord Aotis running away from So Flame No Fame. This Nurkian gets a good stun on him though, and it looks like he's gonna fall over to Vayne as well. Dark Crimson Blade has to keep auto attacking these minions or he will die to that Tormented Soil. That Death Cap is making it hit for so much damage. Now the Lord Aotis is looking to tango with Morgana. He will die to this Ignite though. Five more stacks for Dark Crimson Blade and he will be able to pick up that Sated Devour and allow him quite a bit more damage in fights. Every other auto attack dealing double on hit effects is very strong of a passive that you don't even have to pay for. You just have to farm for. So you get gold and then you get more value out of the item as well. So the fact that it's not even under gold efficient before you stack it up is already good, and then you get a super bonus if you get enough farm under your belt, or kills. I mean, approximately farm kills, scuttle crab kills, dragon control, baron control, all sorts of stuff will allow you to stack that thing. So it's really just tailored around, just doing well as a jungler overall. If you're just doing well, getting pressure down or acquiring your own gold, then you're gonna get rewarded from it. Stun goes down on Dark Crimson Blade. It looks like they're calling to try to gank this Warwick. They all dash in here, and he will go down. Loses life for a Scuttle Crab, but he finishes Sated Devourer. Good ulti from Malphite comes in, doesn't hit the slow on Lord Aeotis. He's still getting good auto attacks down. Suki Shards falls to the damage from Broken Crayon and the Syndra. And Lord Aeotis here. Red team in a position where they need to run towards Dragon and go pick it up. It has spawned, and that first buff would be a decent damage boost for them. So red team in position here. 4 members strong. They don't have the actual smite up since Malphite did go down in the last battle, but no one really in a position to steal it away from them, so they get that one nice and clean, nice and safe. Warwick stuns up, So Flame No Fame there. He just doesn't have the hit sustain to get through that, especially since he already burned his jump there. The, what is it, something, Dark Flight? Yeah, Dark Flight burned to just back off that wave, more quickly, and it ends up being his doom. So blue team needs to get in a position where they can get some of these picks down. So far, Kuju has been fairly aggressively positioned for most of the game. And if they can get a good Citrus stun down and follow it up with an anti-stun, they will win a lot of these fights. Because it just sets up so much for them. So 27 minutes in, roughly 6k gold lead coming out for red team here. So sitting pretty comfortable on the map at the moment. They do see that Warwick is top lane. They might go for a fight here. It looks like they're going to be slightly hesitant to do so, though. They might want to actually consider going towards the Baron and baiting a fight there. It might put them in a tight corridor where Syndra can do really well, but it also can put their Ashe in a very protected position and minimize the amount of area that Vayne has to work with. She does have some additional wall stun options, but with the close quarters, you can typically get a decent Malphite auto attack speed slow on her, and then put your team in a much safer position overall. Good stun goes down on the Arcane. They will jump in off that. All Tippers goes down, but not with the stun passive already proc. Lord Aeotis trying to get away from Suki Shards. He does, in fact, get there. Dark Crimson Blade manages to help take out Kuju on the backside of the fight, and now red team is still standing with 4 members up. Blue team with only 2 ready and willing to defend this tower. Vladimir had to walk away towards the top side of the map. The team wants to see if they can't get some turret pressure down here. Stun goes down onto So Flame No Fame. Dark Binding misses, and it looks like So Flame No Fame ends up tanking turret aggro, even though minions were right there. I believe they might have gotten pushed out of the way before the minions hit tower. He walks up and just annihilates Vayne right there. Vayne looking for the cheeky stun against the wall for the kill. Fuzzy 951 taken very low by yet another stun from Syndra, and a little bit of additional damage from Annie as well. So our team's just going to back up off this turret. They aren't feeling healthy enough to really close out that tower. They didn't have their Aatrox at a decent amount of health at the time. And Ashe had gone down in that last fight there. So they didn't have any auto attackers to really help knock that turret over in a clean fashion. So Warwick with max attack speed so far. Not sure if that's the best build path, but it definitely does a decent amount of damage. So Flame, No Fame up in the top lane, taking Seer 0 down very low. He will have Dark Flight up to close this gap here, and he's going to be able to heal right back up to full health in just a couple swings. Ashero gets dropped down on Dark Crimson Blade. He's going to fall over here. Kuju now in a tough position. Dark Crimson Blade actually going to walk through turret to try to get away. Ulti comes out and actually misses. Dark Flight used over the wall. Malphite ulti dropped as well. Blue team not in a position to really take anything off the back of this aggressive play from Dark Crimson Blade, and in fact mid lane, Annie goes down to Morgana as well. So a lot of miscommunication as to the overall plan for where Blue team wants to take this game, and kills get dropped because of it. Broken Crayon. Just hiding in the brush there to get a little stun action, double ward action for the HD vision in that chicken camp rush. Suki Shard's just a little bit impatient. He's like, you know what? Screw it. We've waited on this turret for long enough. Let's knock it over. This is a time in the game, like I mentioned before, where Red Team can feel very comfortable going for this Baron take. They have a lot of reach-in going on this Aatrox. Speaking of Aatrox, he gets in the middle of the fight, starts smacking away on whoever he can. Goes in on Lord Iota's. Binding will finish off the kill there. Dark Crimson Blade looking to take out So Flame, No Fame. Can't match that healing or damage coming out of the rest of the team. Things going down from Red Team to go ahead and do the Baron, and I have to agree with that call. It'll give them the resilience of the minions that they need to get them to the actual turret. Give them a little bit of additional damage to work with on that tower as well. Is Warwick max attack speed without his W or only after activation? Well, let's take a look at his stats here. He is sitting on less than max attack speed, so he is only on max attack speed when he has that W activated. Morgana Binding goes down. Broken Crayon surely will die here. Burns the Ignite, looking for the damage on 0KZS, but the little bit of magic resist that he's got from that Athene's Unholy Grail, not the biggest magic resist item, but every little bit counts. Combined with that good Black Shield timing that he had there, just allowed him to really just live through that nice and easy. So Red Team going to go for the double prize money here. Kuju caught out by Dark Crimson Blade, good interrupt from that Malphite ulti, stunned up a couple different times here. 0KZS, the one to last hit it with the Tormented Soil and an auto attack as well. So Flame, No Fame, just taking up this dragon for his team, no problem at all. That'll put Red Team at 2 dragons finally, caught up to the Blue Team, and now they've got that Baron buff to support them as well. So they're going to be able to force in on the center or wherever, which portion of the map they want to. Minions are going to be fairly strong for them, but they are disjointed on their back timing. They had a lot of minions up in the top lane that needed to be taken care of. Malphite ulti is down. Suki Shards doesn't have too much mana to work with as well. He actually doesn't have any mana built in to his build here. No Frozen Heart on this day. No Righteous Glory or anything like that. Really just looking for, the value items when it comes to fighting the enemy team. He's got a bit of magic resist there. He looks like he's going to have some AP and armor, so that'll help out his E and W. And then the Raptor's Cloak. So I think he's looking for this Rot Portal just to help his team push these waves in a little bit better, and hopefully knock some of these turrets over. Because right now, Blue Team is playing super defensive. They have been for the past, I'd say, like 8 minutes or so. And Red Team's having a little bit of trouble cracking this base. Honestly, if they just get together as a team and force it down middle, don't be afraid of, the amount of damage that the enemy team can do to them, because let's face it, they've got a significant goal lead here. They've got 14k up on the enemy. I mean, look at the amount of damage that, Broken Crayon just got dumped on him. Tibbers actually does negative damage to 0KZS here. Warwick down on the bottom side of the map pushing in. They need to really just group up and get something going here in the mid lane. So as it stands, Blue Team is in a position where they may just gain more than they're losing. Top side of the map, Aatrox left alone. Red team needs to make sure that they put some additional pressure. Stun actually lands on the wall. That long-range condemn closes the gap as planned, and now Red team rushing to the aid of their Aatrox. Dark Binding goes down, doesn't land. Soul Flame No Fame actually stays alive for a significant amount of time there. Soul Shackles gets thrown down. It's not going to be enough. Double kill goes to Vayne. Lord Aotus just dumping that auto attack damage through here. And now Red team is looking like they're putting some harass down on Seer0, but it's not enough to really deter him from defending this mid wave. Like I said, man, Red team just needs to get grouped, send in their Malphite, follow up with an Ashero, follow up with a Braum knockup, have Morgana in there, you know, as well. Aatrox there smacking people, and as long as Malphite goes in first, they're probably going to win these fights. Alright, so blue team gaining slightly a little bit more momentum back after that little spat they had across the board there. They need to get some wards in their jungle now and re-control their side of the map. They can definitely still come back in this game. They've seen how hesitant Red team is to punish the previous portions of the game pretty much. Because at this point, like, Aatrox is super hard to deal with. He's got a huge amount of lifesteal, he's got a bunch of health, bunch of armor, bunch of magic resist, so there's not anyone who can burst him out outright. He's got the tenacity from Merctread, so his build is like pretty much the Aatrox dream build for this stage of the game. And he's sitting on 300 farm. Middle lane, Dark Crimson Blade goes super aggressive here. I don't know if he's going to be able to pay off though. Soul Flame No Fame gains a huge amount of health back from these auto attacks. And he just knocks him over with the help of Fuzzy. So Dark Crimson Blade down off the map now. This might be the time for Red team to just force it in down the mid lane. Just gotta get grouped. They just need everyone standing at the same place at the same time. And that place needs to be in front of this mid lane inhibitor. It's going to be slightly more difficult now that they've lost their Baron buff, so these minions can be cleared a lot easier by Syndra. Oh my goodness, such an aggressive play by Suki Shards. They're going to go ahead and dive the turret. The auto attack damage from Soul Flame No Fame is keeping him alive. Seer0 stunned up by the Dark Binding, and they can't quite finish off this team. Red is slightly too resilient for them. And like I said, there it is. Suki Shards loses his life, but gains a turret and potentially an inhibitor. And that pressure is worth more than his life will be in this match. Dark Crimson Blade looking to try to get the kill on Fuzzy. Won't find it here. Ping's going down to rotate to the outside of the base and look to maybe go to the bottom side of the map. Dark Binding misses. Lord Aotus looking for Fuzzy. They actually throw a double ulti there. Probably could have finished him off with just a condemn. Warwick ulti is now down. Dark Binding lands on Lord Aotus. Good jump in from Soul Flame No Fame. Helps kill two people. That's going to open up this bottom lane as well. This might be game here. Got all their auto attackers up. A huge minion wave to work with. Annie is up with the tippers ready to go. They've got a decent amount of Syndra wave clear, but another Morgana binding seals the fate of Broken Crayon here. Seer0 gonna walk up, get bound out yet again by Morgana, and chunked down to roughly half HP. Tippers goes wide, and it looks like it's going to get taken out by a couple Ash shots. They don't want that residual AoE from the Tippers living, really affecting this push at all. Kuju doing a great job of forcing down these Nexus towers, and they need to hurry it up with this. Warwick coming up in a second, but before that goes down, blue team actually surrenders the match. And they now feel the full force of their gold deficit after Red team finally gets to a point where they can really dive that middle lane turret. They honestly could have done that a long time ago, but they finally got together as I don't even think it was a 5-man group. It might have been a 4-man group to start out, and then I think maybe someone came in later there. I wasn't quite sure. I think Kuju joined the fight late, but it started out with Soul Flame No Fame, Suki Shards, 0 KZS for sure, and that's all they needed to dive those towers. As long as they've got the Black Shield to throw on to Soul Flame No Fame, as long as they've got the Suki Shards dive in, coupled up with the Soul Flame No Fame's dive in, they will be able to knock out pretty much whoever is standing there if Malphite ulti lands in a significant way, meaning on Vayne and Syndra. Which it did. So they got a whole bunch of work there, and that just blew the game wide open there. DCB saying, can't do much with a Devourer with every lane loses. Well, it wasn't the fact that you just had a Devourer, but you went Devourer, Bork, and then also a Wit's End, so you are just super squishy overall. Had you been just Devourer and Bork, and that Wit's End was instead like a Randuin's Omen to slow the attack speed of Aatrox, you might have had a better chance of winning, but you're right. You guys did need to take more advantage of the splitting up of blue team, because they were super hesitant to dive that turret. Of red team, because they were super hesitant to dive that turret, and they were split up quite a bit of time. Aatrox spent a lot of time alone, Ash spent a lot of time getting red buff and things, and honestly it was a lot of time with just Morgana in the mid lane standing there clearing waves and keeping pressure up along with Braum. And had you just jumped on either one of them, I think you could have knocked them over fairly easily.